Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and this week I'm joined by the Micromaster Combiner. He's got the power to surprise. It's Mikey Juval V3. Hello, Mikey.
Hello, Andy. I have a public service announcement.
Oh, okay, go ahead. What do you have to tell me and the people?
It's not Patty's Day.
Is it Saint Patty's Day?
No, it's not.
Whose day is it?
If you were going to do that abbreviation, it's Saint Paddy's Day. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, Paddy, you know, from like The Simpsons.
Yeah, Paddy.
Patty. Like a cake, patty cake.
Every year, my Facebook explodes with Happy Patty's Day.
Oh, really?
And every single year, I get an urge to find all the Americans, round them up, and put them on an island, and then send that island to sea.
The urge to die within Mikey grows a little each day. I didn't
also,
know that
apparently,
was a pet peeve.
I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it so much. Just because, like, in Ireland, Patty it's like your mother's friend, that elderly friend that comes round and like holds your head way too tight and tells you, "Oh God, you're growing up so fast."
This sounds
That's
like
Patty.
a story from your past rather than an example.
Aren't they all?
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, apparently, we celebrate St. Patty's Day because of Irish slavery.
Oh, good. My favorite kind of slavery.
I feel like I would have been told this in school.
Especially with the amount of stuff, you know, reasons to dislike the British. I would have thought, yeah, that would be another good reason to teach the kids in school.
Yeah, but no, apparently it's because of Irish slavery. And I have to admit, my first response to that was, I thought it was because some Welsh guy escaped some weird pirates.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And then we all said, "Look, he's chasing out the snakes." And then someone in the back whispered, "There aren't any snakes here."
Oh, he's good.
And then you just had this hand go over his face and slowly gets dragged into the dark. There's no snakes here.
So how's it got to do with slavery then? Because I'm sure it was about that snake story in the Welsh.
Yeah. I was leaning towards the snake. Apparently, it's because of Irish slavery in America.
Really? Oh.
I remember there's a line about taking people of other ethnic origins, but no Irish, in Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Followed by, let's have everyone, because Blazing Saddles is a cutting examination of racism in middle 20th century America. But no, apparently it's slavery. The Irish slaves, as we were well known as, working the fields for the southern gents. I'll be honest, seeing this made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're not really here to talk about Irish slavery. I don't think. We're here to talk about Transformers. The fun times in Transformers.
Fields and fields of shamrocks just being harvested.
That's why you can't find the wild shamrocks anymore.
Yeah. The Irishman, when he was like escaping to freedom, poisoned the shamrock. They used to have 5 leaves.
Oh my god.
3 leaves is actually a sign of... I'm getting ahead of myself. It was just weird. It's just so weird. Who says that? Who?
People you talk to apparently or associate with on the internet.
Alder, none of you are Irish. You're all American. Why is that such a big deal? It's been hundreds of years. Get over it.
Mikey, flame toys.
That's not just me, by the way.
What do you mean?
I'm going to finish it up. The whole Irish, you're not Irish thing. That's a whole cultural thing here.
Okay.
We have a bit about it. It's up on my Facebook. You can see it's a thing. I shared a funny link. Anyway, flame toys. How are you, Andy?
I'm good. Flame toys though, they've shown their final images of colored Tarn, or Tarn that's being colored. Me and Mike have talked about this from a while ago. Those not where flame toys are doing non-transforming but highly articulated figures. They've done Drift and they're doing Star Saber. And this is their second release, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
No release date yet, but it's going to be number 2.
Yeah, no pre-orders. Do we know what the price is? I don't think we do, because it's not being
No.
given a date, so yeah, probably
I
not.
suspect he'll be a bit dearer than Drift.
Yeah, because he's chunkier.
And I think he's bigger as well.
I think you might be right. I wouldn't say these are the best images of all of his detail, but we've got 3 images at the very least to show, what he can do and how he can pose and all that. Mikey, you were fairly positive on this dude when he was just a plain old proto. How do you think they've done coloring him up and making him all pretty like?
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's nicer than I expected. He pops in so many places. I love the detailing on the scars and the mask.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Well, I wonder if the face will come off.
Wasn't that shown? I thought that was like at the very least mentioned that it would, or is that me misremembering something?
I don't know, but I really hope it does, because I think it would be it's like, especially like everyone going on about the mass migration ones having the wrong face because it's based off of Roller.
Yeah.
So I think we need to have one that's accurate to the design we now see in the show or in the comic. But also I didn't realize his fingers were articulated.
No, I don't think I did either, but it seems like they are. It seems like they've got a joint for all of the finger and at least a ball joint for the thumb, so you can do a full closed hand or you can open them up individually. It doesn't look like they've got ball joints for each of the individual fingers, though, at the knuckle, but I don't think that's a big deal.
No, I'm looking at the one where he's got the fusion cannons on, and yeah, it looks like he's got hinges there, but they maybe have a little bit of spread.
Maybe.
But no, I think the coloring pops really well. Oddly enough, my favorite picture is him with the joined up fusion cannons into that kind of like, it's like he's resting in on his shoulder rocket launcher thing. I did that. It's just like, this is my melee weapon.
This is mine.
Two guns put together. Yes, that is my melee weapon.
Hey, if it does the job, it does the job.
But no, I think he's turned out really, really well. Like, way better than I was expecting. Really want to see what like the full package will be. What like his full accessory loadout. Will he have an accessory loadout? Because Drift came with loads. So
yeah, he came with quite a few different hands. Didn't he come with extra hands? Because his hands didn't splay open, did they?
No, they didn't. So I'll be curious to see how they sort of bump out the price, because this guy's going to cost at least $300 or $400.
You would suspect so, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that they add not just the quality of the figure, but the accessory loadout is significant enough as well.
Yeah, I don't know what else he could come with, though,
Okay. Oh man, if you really want to piss off the world, Kaon's head.
But they were friends, Mikey.
No, they weren't. Tarn was emotionally dead. Deal with it. He wasn't a pleasant person.
No. None of them are.
What do you... No, none. Nickel's not. Nickel's not some cute little dinky thing missing her besties.
No.
But, Andy, what do you think of him? Yeah,
I mean, he's super pretty, like you say. He looks good. And I'm sure the quality on him will be high as well. Is it out of my price range? Of course. But I definitely would like to see it at like a convention or something, just to see how it's turned out. See it in person, because it's always different from seeing it, in images and whatnot. I don't think it's going to have a huge appeal, though, just on the basis that it don't transform. And as we both know, that's just how people like the Transformers, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Shall we, or rather, do you want to take us on, Mikey, to another bit of news?
Yeah, this is a very quick bit of news. There was a free comic book day interview with John Barber and Alex Milne. This was over on, what website was it? freecomicbookday.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, just discussing the book that's coming out, the issue 1 of Unicron, which is the prelude into the big event for this summer, Unicron the Darkest Hour, rather. And most of this was just kind of getting to know Alex and John. Who are you? Why are you here? Is that a gun? But the opening thing was a perhaps telling question. So, the question was, when Unicron arrives, that means the end of a universe. Tell us what makes this story the biggest in the history of the Transformers. From John, this is the end of the story we've been telling for over a decade. The IDW Transformers comics are the longest-lasting iteration of Transformers characters ever. There's more fiction in this universe than anywhere else in the history of the brand, and it all comes crashing down with Transformers Unicron. From Alex, I feel it's the biggest story due to the stake being so high. It's not just the Transformers and Cybertron that have to worry about Unicron, but Earth and the other colony worlds as well. It really is something that affects this shared universe that IDW has created. Unicron is the destroyer of worlds, and not everyone will survive this encounter. Will our heroes even be able to stop him? I guess you'll have to read it to find out.
Spoilers, Alex. Jeez.
Yeah, God.
Come on, man.
God. Now, obviously, this ties into the ongoing rumors and debates about, is this it? Is the IDW universe, as we understand it, coming to a close? Whether that be, Marvel Marvel issue 80, issue where it sort of ends and the future will continue on, and we'll go down whatever road it goes down until Simon Furman shows up years later and makes it a miserable mess of bad choices and poorly understood genetics.
Oh damn, Mikey! Some fucking sick cuts there.
Regeneration 1's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was not a joyful comic. Or will it be, along the road of New 52, where I literally go around and start punching people in the dick? Because I'll do it. And yes, I know, Crisis in Infinite Earths made it work, blah, blah, blah. We're not living in the 80s anymore. Things get fucked up now. but we don't know what's coming next. Now, of course, before I ask Andy what his opinion of, I, of course, did what I should never do and scroll down.
Oh no, Mikey. But also, oh yes, because I always like to hear this stuff from someone who's willing to check, because I never am.
As usual, there is the, a regular, reasoned set of opinions. Of, hey, this is good, hey, this is not so good. And that's a big thing. And, hey, maybe swearing at people and telling them to go fuck themselves because they don't think a comic is good, or because they think a comic is good, is perhaps blah.
Blah.
I mean, my favorite response, just because it just when I started facepalming, like some blah blah Megatron. Someone said they wanted Megatron to say a good guy. Someone misunderstood them and then sort of went on a big spiel about bland one-dimensional villains in G1. Guess how we spelt it? Oh,
G1. Was it with two G's? Two E's?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, good.
And then, goes into how IDW Megatron's the best version of the character. That I honestly believe it is, but that's neither here nor there. And, the first response is, I'll take up one-dimensional Megatron over IDW convoluted and confused mess any day of the week. And then sarcastically going, yeah, Prime Megatron, so amazingly written. Randomly sees the error of his ways in the last final minutes of the episode. Sucks. And I was just like, you've dragged Prime Megatron into this. Your argument has no ground anymore.
You've ruined it.
Not only are you attacking the best Megatron, you're attacking the second best Megatron in the same sentence. I'm sorry.
Does he also diss on animated Megatron as well, just after? Get the trifecta.
Beast Wars Megatron at the bottom. Yeah, sucks too. I want my G1. And I mean that in the sense of people just going, I want G1, because that's a sentence, not in the meaning way of going G1ers, because that's a weird thing. Basically, you all make me sick.
Yay.
I welcome free and varied opinions. I just wish people would not be dicks about it. Andy, what are your thoughts? Anything about that interest you?
I have heard
the random bitching, but
I have heard a lot of people worried about it will just go back to being the war on Cybertron, or the war between the Autobots and Decepticons. And I'm not too fussed if we do go back that way, and we do have that, as long as it, I mean, this is always the thing, if it's done in an interesting way, it can always be good, but will it be done in an interesting way? I don't know. Does it limit your options down and maybe ostracize some of the people who've gotten into it recently? Maybe they'll stay around, and maybe IDW will have taken away, the extra inclusivity of like female Transformers and all that kind of jazz as well. And maybe the war on Cybertron, or the war between the Autobots and Decepticons, will be different because of that. There could be lots of things to make it interesting, or it could go down a very generic route. I'm on the we'll wait and see what happens kind of deal. because I think it'd be nice for some things to maybe be fixed and some things maybe be, let's say, ignored forever. Heart of Darkness. I never read it, but I know enough.
So someone reminded me that existed this week. I don't know why
Why-
people want to hurt me.
I was going to say, why would they do that?
Oh dear. But yeah, there are things I'm kind of glad the books don't really deal with anymore.
Right. Like what specifically would you say?
Well, like chaos.
Oh God. Okay, I thought you meant like just war in general. But yeah, when you talk about chaos, I'm like, yeah, let's not. That was a thing.
Devoid, Andy.
That was a thing. All of the sweeps, Mikey. All of the sweeps made him somehow.
Yep. I am happier without the war. I have to admit, I think the stories are more interesting and engaging. Because like going back and reading the Furman era stuff is a bit of a struggle now. I have to admit. Is
that because of no offense to Simon Furman, but is that because of it being a Simon Furman book?
Yes.
Rather, because again, the potential for it being an interesting war thing and not done by Simon Furman could be a thing.
Like, a good war story is actually something that's very rare in Transformers.
Yeah.
Ironically. But if, like, whether it's set on Earth or somewhere else, like, having a good war story would intrigue me. I think it is very important that if they do a full reboot and not a soft reboot, like, you know, The Death of Optimus Prime or something like that, that they do take the better parts of this era. Because I think objectively it is still the best written era of Transformers stories.
As a whole, yes, probably.
As a whole, it's had its ups and downs at times, but I think taking those lessons, and I think they'd be crazy to cut out the inclusivity at the moment. Yeah,
I don't, from how IDW seems to be operating at the moment, I don't think they do that unless the new management is just like, fuck it. Which would be really weird.
You've got women's in your books.
You know what we hates here? We hates women's, we does. It's a licking their lips, drinking their large pints of beer.
Slapping each other in the ass. Because they'd slap women, but they hate them.
Spitting in each other's mouths. Kissing.
Yeah,
sensual.
because they hate women.
Because they hate women. No, let's
they
kiss.
They still want to degrade someone.
There you go.
So yeah, I hope for the best, whatever is coming. I'm really curious about what does this mean for creative teams.
Yeah, I think that's
something that's something no one's talking about.
I wonder if they know. I hope they've been told at the very least, like, hey, let's tell you about how your future's going to pan out.
See, I'd like to say yes, but then I remembered Lost Light.
Oh, see, I was thinking, like, Dreamwave, but I completely forgot about Lost Light when they didn't tell people about that, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point, Mikey.
I'm sorry, I'm not working on this? Oh. Okie dokie.
Thank
you for telling me on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite worrying. I hope the creative teams are all okay. At the very least, if they've been told or at least helped moved along to new jobs or something.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, we can only hope.
But yeah, I want to see what's coming in. I'm sure, like, whatever writers are, if they bring in new writers, God help them, because those first couple of issues are going to be rough to sell to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be, you're not James, you're not John, you're not my real dad.
And the problem with, like, bringing in new writers as well is, what are they going to be given to work with? Because as me and you have talked about on From the Files of Teletron 2, when we've talked about visionaries for the Patreon people, we definitely, well, I've felt, and I think you felt too, that Max has been kind of handed a wet tomato or a wet slice of bread, and it's like, hey, work with this, and it's like, well, I can do something, but you haven't given me much to work with.
Like, you're seeing all the good ideas that she clearly is having.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? I'd love to see you on an original story for Transformers.
Yep.
That's kind of my takeaway feeling. For spoilers for next set of reviews, by the way. But I would love to see Magdalene on a book where she has a lot more creative freedom.
Agreed.
Because having read some of her other stuff, I think it could be quite interesting.
For more on that, you'll need to check out From the Files of Teletron 2 and sign up to the Patreon for that. Plug! Yay!
Yeah!
Scumbag Andy.
Yeah. So basically, I would like reasonable editorial influence in the next set of books, no matter who's writing them.
Yeah.
Reasonable. No pages of no. By the way, he's dead. He's super dead. Absolutely final. Full stop. and just move on in the spirit of cooperation and friendship.
I think that's
all that nonsense.
That's a lost light problem, though. To be fair, isn't it? He's
Lost
dead.
light's
He's
problem.
dead. He's super dead. No, he's not. Next issue, he's fine.
Oh, don't talk to me.
Hopefully, they'll stop that shit.
I have some stuff to talk about for the next one.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if you mean the latest issue, which you haven't told me to read for this month, but do you mean that one?
Yes, there is something in there that is just like,
Oh no.
no, it's not a fake out. Well, I think it's a fake out. I'm 100% sure it's a fake out,
Oh,
but it's
no.
not. It's not a fake out as in, oh god, someone's dead.
We'll see.
When,
I'll see if
it's just a moment.
when I say we'll see, I'll see if it annoys me. Is what I mean.
It's a moment when I realized that why this issue was doing a lot less for me than it was doing for other people.
All right.
But don't worry, the next one I'm actually quite positive about.
Okay, cool.
Like the next one for the next Teletrend 2.
Cool. Shall we move on, Mikey?
Yes, because I'm rambling to eat up time.
Cool. Well, Transformers G1 score vinyl record repress confirmed. Re-release is what I'm assuming repress means. But you know
Yes.
that vinyl that we talked about last month, last week, whenever it was. Well, apparently it all sold out, so it's done well, and it looks like it's getting a repress. And they've got a little statement for those who missed out on the first pressing, which sounds weird, of our it's got a little hashtag number thing. Transformers TV soundtrack release. We're happy to announce that we got the go-ahead on a repress with an exclamation mark. We hope to have more in hand by summer or before, but of course we'll keep you informed as we update and process and all that jazz. So if you didn't get it, you'll be able to get this final at some point in the not-too-distant future. So that's good if you wanted it. Mikey, with this news, does this make you want to go out and get yourself a vinyl record CD thingamabob?
Not really.
You don't want to
'cause I'd
become
have to get
hipster Mikey?
I am hipster, Mikey, but I don't have a vinyl. I'd have to buy a vinyl record player.
I think what we need to do for you, Mikey, we need to work on your
Mhm.
look. We need to get you a hair tie. We need your hair to grow. You
God.
need to put your hair in a thing. You need some thick rimmed glasses, and we need to get you a turtleneck. Oh, and a professor's jacket, with the patches on the elbows.
I think I might actually have one of those.
It's like a prerequisite.
But yeah, I mean, like, the thing about this vinyl, apart from the fact it's vinyl, it's not the complete soundtrack.
No, it
I
doesn't
realize-
seem to me.
No, like, it's only 45 minutes. But I know, obviously, that's one of the limitations of using vinyl. It doesn't have the storage capacity. But kind of like, why don't you just do a digital release of the whole kit and caboodle?
Nah.
Like, to be honest, like, if I am not even that big into the G1 soundtrack. I don't think it's great, if I'm honest. It's there are no memorable tracks that I'm going like, God, I've got to be listening to that while I work. But if I was going to get it, I'd get the remastered version that was done on Kickstarter.
Yes.
It's got every track. And I know a lot of work went into it, So, and this is just a novelty. It's a novelty that if I got it, it would be a decoration for a wall. You?
Yeah. Again, it's not for me at all. But I think it's neat. It exists. That's the best thing I can say about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mikey, I think it's time we talked about something that's come to an end for the third week in a row.
Yep.
We're gonna
Just in
talk
case
about it.
you were holding on to any ounce of hope, kids. It is now official. Toys R Us US is closing. It's now been reported that it was reported on March the 14th that closure of all Toys R Us stores in the US was likely, and on the 15th it was confirmed it was a certainty. Toys R Us attorney Joshua Sussberg went before bankruptcy judge Keith Phillips to present plans for the liquidation of all Toys R Us stores remaining in the US, as well as the corporate headquarters. It is reported that as part of the plan before the courts also concerned the Canadian branch, which is planned to be sold as part of a package that also involves up to 200 of the best performing US stores. The Central European and Asian Toys R Us chains are also reportedly going to be sold off. It's also been confirmed that UK is full-on closing. No word... last time I checked, anyway, there was no word on whether there were any sales involved, but there is not going to be functionally, Toys R Us is dead, globally. Or it's certainly on the way out. I'd say any hope we had about the, Asian market staying open for it is out the window.
Yeah, they're probably going to be looking for a buyer as well, I would imagine.
Now, obviously, they're saying they're looking for people to buy their assets and whatnot, which means you're probably going to find someone either moving into the area to try and take over some of the toy market, so perhaps not assume that, the retail toy shops are gone completely. I mean, it could be Smith's big moment to hit the Americas.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Or take over England. But attorneys for the Creditors Committee, Kenneth Eckstein, said of the decline of Toys R Us in recent months, "This is the largest and most rapid deterioration of a retail company I have ever observed. Nobody will come out of this happy or paid in full. Mr. Eckstein predicts that vendors will lose hundreds of millions of dollars from shipments that have not been paid for." The report of the bankruptcy proceedings are over on northjersey.com. More information on the implications is set out in the Wall Street Journal. Basically, many toy makers are left without a place to showcase their wares year-round or test the market with more experimental products. Stores like Walmart and Target, who are expected to fill the void short-term, tend to play it safe and bank on proven sellers and established brands. Wall Street Journal suggests that this could lead to a slump in the toy market, with BMO Capital Markets analyst Jerick Johnson quoted as saying this could lead to fewer breakout items, as Toys R Us was a testing ground for all things. It's reported Hasbro may lose around 3% of its total sales. Smaller manufacturers could be hit by up to 30%. Narrowing of branded toys, and what isn't in here until the very, very end. I feel like this should be a bigger thing. In America, 33,000 people are going to be losing their jobs.
Yeah, I would have said that would be more important. And
I would have put that first.
I'm pretty sure I saw as well on Facebook, so how true it is that the guy that owns Toys R Us got a big bonus or something recently as well. Which I was like, of course he did, if that's true.
If you want a bit of a more informed breakdown, Jeremy on Transmissions goes into briefly sort of like the business side of things. It sounds like it's a bit more complicated than a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are just saying it's overpriced toys and everything else, but apparently they made some bad choices to do it, and possible investors or some of the stuff they were selling. Stuff.
A lot of debt was put on top of them as well, from what I hear.
Yeah. Like, the debt wasn't theirs. It wasn't debt they owed, it's debt they took on. That if you know what I mean. Like, I ain't a businessman.
No.
So yeah, check out Transmissions. They cover it a bit better than we do. But yeah, Andy.
Mikey.
I mean, we've said that for us personally, it is going to affect us less.
Yeah.
But we know, or we know people who know, or are connected to someone who works in Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, this ain't good.
No, it's not a good thing, no. But this is what happens when business decisions are made and they work out the way that they do.
Like, I'm surprised it went down that rapidly, though.
Yeah. Woolworths, certainly in the UK, was the last kind of big store that died, and that kind of died very slowly. This is just someone took Toys R Us out around the back and put a bullet in its head and went, "You're done, bye-bye."
Yeah.
And then kicked it off a bridge. You're done.
Yep. I was thinking about the Woolworths thing, actually, while I was reading about these, but yeah. It ain't great.
So are you going to pick the carcass of Toys R Us? Because I don't feel I'm going to, because I don't believe that they'll actually have anything for a decent price.
Like, last time a big store closed around here, you got some stuff half price.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't go... Like, some people are now assuming that they'll go into Toys R Us and find, like, Titan's Triptychon for 20 euros or 20 quid or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like that, but no.
That's not happening.
No.
Not unless there's something goes even more wrong and they need to clear the shelves of literally every penny they can make.
Yeah.
But no, I don't feel the need. But I do sort of send my best wishes to anyone who works at Toys R Us or is any way involved in this, because there are bigger issues than us having to buy Predikings online or something like that,
Yeah.
This is a big deal for a lot of people, and I hope I hope people make it out of this as cleanly as they can. And if you are giving yourself a big bonus, man, at the top of Toys R Us, faux shame. Faux shame. Anything you want to add, Andy?
No, I don't think so. I think that's about it.
Okay,
Shall
so
I move
take us on.
Yeah, we've got some more deleted and extended audio from the guys at Transformers at the Moon. This time it's on G1 Classic episode Heavy Metal Wars, which had the Dinobots in and was the introduction of the Constructicons. And if I remember, was the episode that we had animatic storyboards, extended animatic storyboards at TF Nation for. This was one of the episodes.
I believe so, yes.
Yep, so now we've also got more talky kind of nonsense woo-woo as well, which was lost and now has been found because the Mapes seem to be able to find this stuff somehow. So one of the main extended scenes is apparently from the Optimus Megatron duel, with more exposition on Cybertronian law of combat that Megatron invokes and the abilities he acquired from the Decepticon minions. Apparently also there was a deleted scene involving Wheeljack talking about how he has upgraded the Dinobots with some fantastic dialogue from Peter Cullen as Ironhide. And again, I haven't listened to any of this because I didn't have the time to before starting the podcast. But if you want, you can find it on their YouTubes. Hit it up and go and have a listen if that's the kind of stuff that interests you. This would be great to have all put on some kind of DVD from a DVD producer at some point in the future. So it's all collected and it isn't just floating about online as well. Mikey,
Where
any
can
thoughts?
one day be lost.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. Haven't had a chance to listen to it myself. I will, but I just finding the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is awesome. The Mapes are doing good work with these things. I kind of assumed they'd run out by now.
Oh, I believe they've just got like a massive pile that they're sitting on, dishing out every now and again when they need the hits.
Just got literally. They've just got literally every piece of audio that ever recorded for G1, and they're just sitting on it.
You never know.
They're shifty fellas, them Makes boys. Their eyes are too close together. But no, this is really, really cool. It's if you're into the behind the scenes backdoor kind of stuff, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a great resource to have, and I hope they keep them coming. I hope they do Web World.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I want to know what was going on there.
More crazy Galvatron?
Yeah, just like Frank, that's not in the script. It is now.
Bitches, please let me do this. Mikey, do you want to move us on, sir?
Yeah, this is a fairly quick one. Now, Studio Series, they're out there now. They'll be hitting shelves in April, but several of them are showing up online. Wave 1 has been a bit hit and miss of the deluxes, but we've got Voyagers showing up, Starscream and Optimus in particular. And apparently, now they've started showing up on US retail. There may be a variant on the Voyager Studio Series Optimus Prime, with a faceplateless version, if I can say that 3 times fast. The official Transformers Instagram and Facebook accounts shared an image of several versions of Optimus Prime for fans to choose which one they prefer. G1 Optimus, Cartoon, Studio Series Optimus, Titans Return, Power Master Optimus, Last Night Optimus, and Power Prime's Evolution Optimus. The picture they picked for the Studio Series was a faceplateless version. So I should say this hasn't been sighted on shelves, but is this an early head design? Is this a gimmick that was going to be in there and never got integrated? Is there going to be some faceplateless versions out there?
Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh my God! Shut up. with a tire from something.
That's right. Oh man, that tire. That sexy tire piece.
The thing is, I can't think of anyone who, given the option of buying with faceplate, without faceplate, and the movie Prime would buy without faceplate. I know it's the face he has more often, but no.
Like if it was a choice for Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime, I would have gone with that. But if we're talking about the movie version, especially this, because his lips aren't colored, so for some reason he's got blue lips. Maybe signifying that he's been dead in space for a while, which is a bit weird. So it's not even a decent representation of his face. So
I know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Of course, that's like apparently that's the love it or hate it Optimus figure. So
Is it?
yeah. A lot of people either think, oh wow, what clever engineering, or oh my god, it's so hideous. So he looks a bit overly pecked out, but that's about it for me. But just I think there's a better Voyager of that, broadly speaking, design.
I keep hearing people talk about that figure in general, or that series, I should say, in general, and it's not positive for the most part. I hear a lot of people not happy in general with it.
It's a wave one. That's my
Yeah.
thing. I want to know about
Hopefully that's the
Starscream.
case, and it'll get better.
None of the figures I'm super interested in have shown up yet.
No,
So
you
that's
want
what
Blackout and Grimlock, right?
Blackout, Grimlock. I don't think I'll ever pick him up, but I'm curious about Jazz and Starscream
All right.
and Megatron as well. So I want to see how those guys showed up because they looked a cut above the rest anyway. So that's what I'm super curious about.
Huh.
There was a stop motion thing this week, actually. Did you see it?
Was this the stuff from Japan or something, or was this
Yeah.
something else?
It was an ad like advertising the studio series, and it was just stop motion transformations for everything.
I didn't watch it. I heard about it, but because I just didn't care about them, I didn't have a look, to be honest.
Had a look, and Optimus is remarkably complicated looking.
Really? In a good way,
No.
or in like an annoying Vinyl Tech Grimlock kind of way?
I think he'd work in hand. But I don't
Good
think
hand feel.
Yes, he does, especially where I'm handling him. But I think it's one of those ones that would probably not do so well. Like, if it's going to be one of those toys you have to have in hand to decide whether you like it or not.
Right, I get you.
But like, apart from that, like, there's some interesting design choices coming up. That Grimlock is black magic.
Black magic. Maybe it'll be good black magic at the very least. Shall I move us on, Mikey?
Yes.
Now, we had some more images of the Transformers Power of the Prime, Optimal, Optimus, Primal, Malarkey, Gorilla Man, Robot Suit Guy, and we had a lot more images of him this time around, so I thought it was worth talking about, because this is probably the last time we'll talk about him until either me or Mikey owns one. That probably won't be for a very long time, I would suspect. So we see him in, I would assume, all of his modes, and we see for a fact that his little plates that went round his wrist that he could turn into like shields in the show can go on the top of his shoulders as well, which I didn't know he could do. So I was glad to see that was a feature of this toy. The guns are not always deployed, because last time we talked about this, we weren't sure if they were always sticking out of his chest or not, and they're not. They can be undeployed, hidden away, whatever you want to say it, or however you want to say it. We see him surfing on Optimus Primal in his weird ship mode. We see him in his plane mode. We see him holding a blue Matrix, which I would say is a little bit boring, because it's just the Matrix holder, and then the Matrix is just a recolored version of the one that comes with Optimus Prime. So I think that's a bit lazy. It would have been nice to have a different shape to it or something for the molding. But Mikey, do you have any thoughts on this guy? Because I'm pretty positive on him. I don't think I'd want to pay full leader price for him, but I'm way more interested in grabbing him.
I at the moment I'm just sort of looking at the stickers on the one where he's surfing.
Yeah.
I'd swear they're peeling already.
Let's have a look. Oh, you
Like
mean on Optimus Primal? Yeah, in the
on
ship
the
mode
sides.
part. Yeah. Oh, I
See just on the front there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But as for the figure, I'm surprised by the low reception this is getting. In all seriousness,
It doesn't seem to be getting a lot of love. Is it because it's Beast
No.
Wars? Do you think?
a lot of people are saying it's just because, like, some people are saying it's Beast Wars, some people are saying it's a worse version of the original toy.
I could maybe see that.
Dunno.
It's doing a
Like, it
different
doesn't-
thing.
Yeah, like, a lot of people are saying Optimus Primal isn't a gorilla, and he doesn't integrate properly. And I don't know, I think he integrates fine. He turns into the backpack, which is very of the original toy, and he turns into the cockpit for the jet, which I think is great, and he turns into a surfboard. He's actually more integrated than Optimus or Rodimus.
Yeah.
I think he's looking decent in all seriousness. Yeah, he is basically, down to the very bottom of it. He is the original toy with better ankles.
I'm
And
definitely
less chrome.
interested to see what people say and do comparisons between them when they get this one in hand versus the original, because I've never had the original, but it did look like a fairly fun toy, but was probably limited by the time.
Limited, yes. Some people are complaining he doesn't have the gram mode, and as much as I had a soft spot for that, I don't think it's a loss.
The what mode? The stupid tank thing.
Yeah, with the big wheel.
That was terrible.
He had a giant wheel, Andy.
Yep, it was a terrible, shitty mode. I'm sorry,
He held
guys.
on to his own wheels.
See, I don't mind that, because that's very GoBots. That's very Psykill GoBots.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it ever looked desperately good compared to his jet. I mean, all of his alt modes, apart from Gorilla mode, were pretty shit.
It's almost like they were an afterthought. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, to be fair, most of the vehicle modes for Beast Wars, once it went Transmetal, were certainly afterthoughts. I just remember Tarantulas' motorbike mode.
I like that.
So do I, but it's terrible. Just poops out two wheels and just sticks his legs up and goes, wee!
Whee! One thing I do like about this guy, I like the idea of a gorilla being a mech.
Yeah.
With Optimus Primal riding in his back.
Yes.
I like that, as it's like a walker. I dig that. What's your thoughts on it, Andy?
Yeah, it's fairly positive. Not sure if it's one I wouldn't want to pay full price on it, because I don't like leaders being the price that they are personally. But certainly would unless it gets like really bad reviews and quality control's not good on it, probably is going to be something I'd like to pick up after the fact. Be interested to see if they did any remolding or repainting of it. Like, what would they do it into? I'd hope it wouldn't just be the red version of this, you know, which we've seen before. I can't remember what that one is, but it's the one from Machine Wars, or Beast Machines, the recolor they did, you know, that one. I'd want them to do something a bit more interesting with that, or with this mold at the very least. But I don't know what they could do with it.
I heard TFW gave a suggestion, and I thought it was good. The idea that you could do repaint it into like Nemesis colors, but have the Optimus Primal be like Megatron colors.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Like Megatron as in Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah, but then remold the head to be like the Beast Machine's head.
Oh, yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah, as long as it's a different color. Like, I wouldn't want it to be that Megatron, but with this color scheme for that to represent the thing from the show. But yeah, otherwise I'd be okay with that. Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah, it's a good idea, Mikey. You can steal that one if you like. I will believe that it was your idea.
Give it to me, people of the other podcast that was mocking me last week.
To be fair, though, it's probably for a good reason.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Sets a dick.
Yeah, but really, wasn't it worth it? Oh, come on. It must be justified.
That's a dick.
Do you want to take us on to our last bit of news, Mr. Mikey?
Yeah, slightly left field. Didn't see this coming, but we've got a new guest announced for TF Nation. This is their second voice actor guest. And yeah, it's Daniel Reardon. And I'm sure some of you are sitting there going like, who? Because many of you will not have heard of Daniel Reardon. And Daniel Reardon is the voice of Robots in Disguise, Megatron, Galvatron, or as more, some of us may know him, Gigatron and Devil Gigatron.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that coming.
Nor did I.
I mean, yeah, so I kind of forgot he existed, to be honest, because he's not a very prominent voice actor. I had a look. Anime-wise, this is it.
Really? He hasn't done any other cartoons or anything like that?
Not in anime-wise. He's done two... he did General Mung in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Who is he?
No idea. Which probably says something. And he did The Wild Thornbreeze, where he was Master of Ceremonies in an episode. He's done some TV acting and some movie acting. He was Turbo Man in Jingle All the Way.
Woo!
But he is quite a prominent voice actor in video games.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he's been in 24, 300 March to Glory, Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Armed and Dangerous, Call of Duty, Crimson Sky, EverQuest Evolve, Forgotten Realms, Heretic, Hitman Blood Money, Justice League Heroes, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, Mass Effect 3. He was Primarch Adrian Victus. I don't remember Victus.
Oh, no, I do. I think he was the... you remember how you go to the Turian homeworld and there's a general, and the general kind of takes over the planet because there's no one else left alive.
Yeah.
I think it might be him. So that's cool.
Prototype 2, Shadow of Rome, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. He was Alduin. That was one of the dragons, wasn't it?
I think so.
Evil Within, The Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction.
Oh man, who is he in that?
Doc Samson. The Order 1886, Transformers the game. He played Bone Crusher and Shockwave.
Which Transformers the game?
The first movie one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
White Knight Chronicles and X-Men Legends Rise of Apocalypse, where he was Mr. Sinister and Strife.
That was a good game.
But yeah, like, he's a prominent enough game actor, but his anime and cartoon roles are shockingly thin. But yeah, he'll be joining DC Douglas, who plays Chase in Rescue Bots. Again, not one I'd have come to my mind first of all, so they're definitely going a bit left field with these things. Stan Bush, James Roberts, Nick Roach, Jack Lawrence, John Paul Bove, Mike Collins, and many others at TF Nation 2018 on the 17th to the 19th of August at the Hilton Birmingham Metropole in Birmingham.
Yay!
Booking is online. But yeah, I'm more surprised by this than when they got Neil Kaplan.
Okay, why is that?
Neil Kaplan's a very prominent voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's in everything. He's currently in Voltron as Zarkon. And, you know, he is a guy that he does the convention circuit for anime quite a bit.
Right.
So, you know, I'm not shocked that you go, he does convention circuits. He was in Transformers. He's the forgotten Optimus, and that's something else. He's very... He likes to take the piss out of the fact he's the forgotten Optimus. Like, there was he did that video with just like signing autographs Optimus Prime, and it's just him standing in the street with a sign and no one there. And he does podcasts and stuff. So, like, he's very prominent. Daniel Reardon, from what I can see, like, yeah, he's a video game voice actor, but the anime side of things, not something he contributes to too much, or cartoons and whatnot. So this is very interesting to me.
It's a strange choice. Not a bad choice.
Yeah. Oh man. If we could get Skybite back for the year as well, just have them hang out. They could yell at each other.
The RID crew.
Mr. Spellos, come back to us, Spellos. He were lovely. Actually, to be fair, with him, it's more a case of keeping him away.
There you go.
Because Peter Spellos keeps trying to come back. Stop it, Peter. The doors are closed.
How dare he? How dare he?
How dare. But yeah, and that's it for news.
Yeah, it's been a dry week.
Very dry week.
I suppose then, Mr. Mikey, we should probably get over to talk about what we were up to this week. So, what you been doing? What's Mikey done for fun?
Oh, yes. Well, I needed some fun. It's been a busy week in terms of family stuff. Yay! Some stuff happened that I haven't told anyone. I'll probably announce it at some point, because it's not announceable. I just want to brag.
Mikey's a gigolo.
I have always been your gigolo.
Too much.
And Wayne's.
Too much.
Always Wayne's.
Too much.
Never enough. But, so yeah, I've been doing family stuff mostly, but I've been doing some entertainment. And no build this week. It's not out yet. The episode aired, but it hasn't been subbed. They're a bit slow this week.
Lame.
Lame. But we did have Dragon Ball. That's back for its second to last episode, with Dragon Ball Super episode 130.
Oh, okay. So is next week's episode definitely going to be out next week?
Yes, apparently so. 25th it's airing. But yeah, that was an intense episode in all seriousness. For something that was Goku focused. He gets character moments in it.
Goku or Jiren?
Goku. Jiren, they're desperately scrabbling for character moments.
They've had hundreds of episodes to give him a character, and now they're deciding they should probably do something with it.
But Jiren will go down as the worst Dragon Ball antagonist ever.
Worse than Raditz.
Worse than the rabbit that lives on the moon.
Did he live on the moon, or was he just punched to the moon?
He lives on the moon now. Actually, no, he doesn't.
No, because Piccolo killed him.
Oh, that never hit me before.
Piccolo blew up the moon. Stop mocking me.
Oh my god.
That poor rabbit. He was a villain. Man. He deserved it.
That never hit me before.
No, me neither.
At one last murder. You had to get one more in.
I was good. Good.
For anyone who doesn't know, there was an episode of Dragon Ball where there was a moon that Goku knocked. There was a rabbit that Goku knocked to the moon. It was an evil rabbit, but he knocked to the moon, and he's now living there, or he was living there. And then, early Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo blows up the fucking moon.
Yep.
Oh man, that never hit me before. But yeah, so Jiren is just a bad character. And this was like, oh god, give him as many lines as he can, make people invested in before we get to the end. Make them invest, because we got one more episode after this. And I just like, especially when I found out during the week that Toriyama nixed what they were originally going to do for Jiren.
What do you mean?
Like, they were given basic characters designs and stuff, and then they came up with Toy, and they were developing personalities, because apparently Toriyama had a relatively vague idea for the Universal Survival Tournament. So they designed Toppo's personality for Jiren.
Huh.
He was going to be this over-the-top, very into his justice, hero, like Superman-esque figure.
Yeah.
Who would then fall from grace. And then Toriyama said, no, he's not supposed to say anything.
Oh,
what?
No, Toriyama.
No, he doesn't say anything. Like, he'll give his backstory towards the end, but that's it.
No.
And so they switched it. They switched characters over to Toppo. Toppo got that, and then got, as I said, he's a one-dimensional character, but he's a one-dimensional character that has a couple of, points for him. But, so yeah, Jiren sucks.
Yeah.
But Jiren is a guy defined by the fact that he gets stronger.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And he gets stronger in this. Surprise, surprise. Also, he pulled something I didn't see coming that literally just makes him an unlikable person.
Okay.
Not like in the Frieza Cell, like Boo kind of way of just like, oh, they're the bad guy, I'm into them. Like, he's just like, you know what? You're just a dick. That was the pinnacle of dick moves. But yeah, it gives Goku a couple of good moments of like, hey, this is character development.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. Also, I am a lot more into that silver form, the Silver Ultra Instinct, than I thought I was going to be.
Oh, okay.
Visually, it pops quite nicely when it's well animated. And in all seriousness, probably the best animated episode of Super.
That's not a high bar.
I'd say the Tournament Saga knocked things up several notches.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's better. When I say it's not a high bar, I'm not comparing it to when it was trash. I'm just saying in general, it's not a very.
It's not a blow your mind show.
No, it's very bog standard. It doesn't do anything desperately amazing.
No, but there's some very, very nice visuals here.
Okay.
There's one still of Goku that I just really like because it's such an on Goku face. And not just the shading, but the expression and everything else. There is a twist at the end. There is a twist, and yes, unfortunately, it looks like next episode will be a fight, not a sort of culmination.
Ooh.
I will say I thought I predicted the twist, and then it turned out I half predicted the twist because there's an extra twist in the twist.
Okay.
So I won't spoil anything, but you'll know what I mean when it happens. Because you predicted the same twist, and you'll also be twisted by that. So yeah, honestly, like, enjoyable episode. Like, very little Vegeta, so I'm considerably less invested. But if they had, like, 5 more episodes to go, I think they'd have room to do something with Jiren.
Right.
They don't, so they won't. Yeah, apparently there's some big surprise at the end of episode 31, or 131, which is going to blow people's minds.
Is it the made GT
GT GT Goku just showed up.
Yeah.
This is my show now.
Broly and Cooler and Lord Slug and Turles pop in.
Kale just wanders around. Where Broly? Yeah, but I you know what? Honestly, I think they're just going to end on. Here's Oob. There's a picture of Oob, the baby. He matters.
That's not a big thing if they do that. That's just okay, neat.
Yeah. Apart from that, we had Violet Evergarden episode 10. Remember I said I was really worried about episode 9 was very much finale, and I was kind of worried it was about to peter out?
Yes.
My worries were unfounded. This broke me. Legitimate tears, had to walk away from the screen for a few minutes, kind of break me. Highly emotional episode, very heavy. Oh god, you have that moment where you know what's going on, and Violet knows what's going on, the person who's doing the letter knows what's going on, and there's this one character who doesn't. And it's the tiny little child. And you're just like, oh god, no! But like, yeah, good. And really include some good character moments for Violet, which is really important now, because now they're building up the fact that she's recovering from PTSD. So yeah, this show is really good. Like, really good. There's 4 more episodes to go. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. Darling in the Franxx, episode 10 as well. Didn't see that one coming.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see how some of the adults live. We also got focus again on a side character. Quite a bit of focus. Like, he was the dominant force of the episode, and it was a non-action episode as well. But we got to see like how people live in this sort of plantation city that the children aren't allowed into, and it's a tad unnerving. Everyone, there's one person, and they're so serene, Andy.
Mm.
They're so serene and polite all the time. Somewhere, if it's revealed that like the writer for this is actually like an anagram for Generabocci, I would not be surprised. But yeah, and also we get again continuing a hint that there is something freaky going on with the main kids. Like, because they're referred to as infected children shouldn't be here.
Mm.
And there's constant references to the fact that this group is very different from normal Franxx pilots. And the main female character, 02, she's starting to act weird. And now it's been confirmed there's like 20-something episodes for this series. I am so invested into where this is going. This is the kind of like dark mystery building I really enjoy, even with all the silly Studio Trigger visuals and everything else.
Yeah.
So really good. Watched some stuff on Netflix that didn't really get into. Watched 3 or 4 episodes of a show called Children of the Whales. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it is kind of it's from a sort of mature sci-fi stable. You get stuff like Made in the Abyss, although
Okay.
not the horror elements, just mature sci-fi.
Right.
Basic story, there's this world covered in a sea of sand, and people are living on mobile islands, and their one is called a mud whale. And some people have telekinetic powers, and that's 90% of the population, and they only have about a 30-year lifespan. And they're called the marked. The unmarked are about 10%. They're mostly the ruling class. Not really a class structure. They're just like, because they'll live normal lifespans. Because they live longer, they tend to just be in charge. They pick up a girl from another island, and they end up realizing that there are people outside of their sort of sphere of influence who have been drained completely of emotion and view them as criminals for having emotion.
Right.
And it basically becomes like progress through purely detached technology versus the emotional being. It's okay. Like, it's high concept, very, very high concept. Not horrifically violent, but it has very mature violence. Like, it's violence where this is, an adult is understanding the context. So, like, you have children dying on screen and being shot or stabbed or whatever. The sci-fi elements are okay. They're a bit wishy-washy, I have to admit. Also, some of the writing had the problem where, like, the whole thing about, well, we repress our emotions, so we feel emotions, we just don't express, Except everyone's really expressive, like hyper expressive. It's like, why are you pretending you don't have you're like holding your feelings in when you're like running around like an anime character? And also the main protagonist is. He's not the guy the story is about. He's the guy observing the story. You know that archetype?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Which can work if it's done right. This guy's more in the vein of Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII.
Oh, no. Oh.
Like, less pretty boy, but he's kind of like, you don't really contribute. You're just sort of standing there. Like, emotional moments happen around you and occasionally to you, but, the action hero is that guy. The heart is that one. The person, like the fish out of the water is the main female character, blah blah, and you're just kind of involved with all these people.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll continue on with it, I'll be completely honest. It's very pretty. Like, it's almost Ghibli-esque in its visuals. Almost. Kind of like, what if Ghibli and Made in Abyss had a baby?
Okay, that's an interesting way to phrase it.
with sort of more normalized proportions.
Right.
But it's very visually appealing. And, like, it is a high-concept sci-fi. But I don't know. Like, the core of a solid show isn't there. And apparently it ends right as it's getting interesting. And, everyone says, well, it's basically a prelude to the main story. And I'm just like, this doesn't have the grip factor to get away with that. So yeah, it did put me onto another sort of weird sci-fi thing I might check out in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see about that. But yeah, that was my week, really. What about you, Andy?
I haven't done a huge amount that's interesting once again. I did a lot of family stuff this week, which took up most of my week. Been watching more Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapter. Been hammering through that, so been watching Super Boo do his thing. My big thing that I've noticed while watching more of it is I really miss the original Funimation dub's OST. Like the current OST for Kai is not nearly as poppy and interesting, and they reuse the same tracks again and again, and some of them aren't very appropriate for the action scenes they use them for.
I don't like the Japanese Dragon Ball Z OST at all.
Is that the one they use for Kai?
Yeah.
Oh, then it's not good.
Dragon Ball and GT, oddly enough, had better ones, but they were limited. But I think they were better. Dragon Ball Z, I just never got it right for me.
No. The Funimation dub was really good. Like it had I find it really distracting. There's no Vegeta theme.
Yeah, I love Vegeta's theme.
The Vegeta theme is great. The Super Saiyan 3 transformation theme's great. The Super Buu theme is great, and they're just not there. And it's
that's one thing about Super. It's got a really good soundtrack. Like at least it's got a far more appropriate soundtrack.
It's got more appropriate. There are certainly soundtracks in Super I don't like the vocal one that they play out through the fight scenes. I don't like at all.
What, the ultimate? Oh, no, I like that. It's done by the same guy who does Power to Terror.
Yeah, I know. I just don't like that. I don't like the way that the song sounds. Effectively, I don't know how else to describe it. I recognize the guy who sung it. I couldn't place where he was from, but you say Pudo Terra, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Akira something.
Yeah, I just don't like that song. Just the way it sounds. It just doesn't do it for me. It's kind of like the second intro that they did. It doesn't do that for me either. But yeah, I'm wondering if for me the best version of Dragon Ball Z to watch is the original Funimation dub, or the Ocean one. Does the Ocean one have the Vegeta theme? Probably doesn't.
The Ocean dub has the same Bruce Faulkner one as the Funimation.
Okay, so I guess that's probably again cements the fact that I like the Ocean dub the best.
Oh, it's the best one.
Yeah. Even though the it and Z the Funimation Z has all of the filler and all of the filler, like even Kai, there's like parts I'm looking at and going, wow, it's going on for fucking ever, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, also like they use the same script because they just basically bought the rights to dub it off Funimation. So technically it was still a Funimation dub in its way.
Oh, you mean Ocean?
Yeah, but like so they have the same script, so they have all the errors that were put in to make everyone a bit more superhero-y
right
at times. And they also have some really bad dialogue in a very 90s, we have no idea what we're doing in scripting kind of way, but hey, we've got an anime.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, oddly enough, none of Vegeta's lines.
It's
almost like he can not do anything wrong. It's like he's perfect.
Did Ocean and Funimation both call him Mr. Satan? Both call him Hercule, or did one of them call him Mr. Satan? Because I'm sure I heard one of them say Mr. Satan.
Both were Hercule, but Funimation, when they redubbed, would turn it into Mr. Satan.
But only for Kai.
For Kai and for Super.
Okay, because I was positive that at one point while I was a young Kiddlywinkle and watched those original ones, and I kept switching back and forth between Funimation and Ocean Dub because who gives a fuck on Cartoon Network. I was sure they said Mr. Satan rather than Hercule all the time, but I must have been mistaken. One thing I did notice they've missed out is where I don't think in Kai they actually have the scene where Boo names his little dog B.
Aww.
They have the scene of them bonding and stuff, but I don't think there's ever a scene of Boo saying, I'm going to call you B. But Mr. Satan's or Hercule starts calling him B every now and again. I'm like, I don't think you were actually named Little Dog. But maybe I just missed that part. Maybe I was like looking at the internet at that time. Bar that, I've just been.
You haven't hit stuff. You haven't hit stuff that's new to you yet.
No, I'm basically gonna hit that tonight because I stopped when they were inside Super Boo, and that's kind of where I finished today before doing the show. So they've unplugged most of the people, but they've found Fat Boo, and that's where I ended. Yeah. And that's where this season stopped for Cartoon Network back in the day as well for me, and for some reason never picked it back up again. Probably because I was sick of having to go through the same fucking arcs again and again and again, which Cartoon Network
how many
loved
times? and then they'd restart the whole thing.
The whole thing from the Saiyan saga. And
Just like, I've seen this.
you're like, okay, I don't mind parts of this, but then you go, oh, the Namek saga that goes on for years. For years. And then it gets good again with the Frieza saga, but that goes on for fucking ever. And then the Garlic June saga.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 fucking minutes.
How many times did they show Garlic Jr.? Oh my god. I think they showed that more than any of the other ones. Because I think, I remember they used to repeat the Frieza one more.
Yes.
I think just because they knew Frieza was more popular. But
probably, yeah.
And I think they just repeated that whole segment from like Frieza to Garlic Jr. more often.
That's probably the case. Maybe they just didn't want to keep showing the fucking Satan saga and again and again. I don't know.
Over 9,000, Andy.
Oh god, it never ends. Never ends. The only other stuff I've been doing is just playing more Dynasty Warriors 8, just chunking through that as it eats up my life, as it usually tends to do. It's not a great game. It's not an amazingly fun game, but it's an enjoyable mindless bash, as it always tends to be. When I went around to Dave's, I got to play on Bloodborne because Dave got it on the free PlayStation thing. So I only got to play for like 5 minutes or something. But I was like, yeah, this is neat. This is fun. And I was like, no, Dave, that's not how you play the game. Let me show you how you play the game. He was using the gun like a proper gun. I'm like, no, it has to be used as a parry. So when they like in Bloodborne, when an enemy attacks you, you can shoot them and it stuns them. And then you go in and you put your hand inside them and you go, oh, you like that, don't you? Oh, you like it when I go deep inside you with my fist and then pull it out. And Dave was like, what are you doing? I'm going deep inside of them, Dave. I can feel their insides and it's glorious. And because Dave has 2 PlayStation 4s at the moment.
What?
Because Dave saw the PlayStation Pro on a sale or something. They'd misprinted it at the price on it. I don't know how much it was less for. So he bought the PlayStation Pro, and he hasn't got rid of his normal PlayStation 4 yet. I was like, so what are you going to do with it? And at first he was like, I'm going to have an upstairs PlayStation and a downstairs PlayStation.
Oh, fuck you, Dave.
And I was just like, I didn't say anything, but I was just like sitting there going, what the fuck's wrong with you? You rich fucking bastard. So I just said,
the airport money.
I said to him, I mean, if you want, if you sell it for a decent price, I'd maybe be able to take it off your hands. Because in the back of my head, I'm still like, I still want to play Bloodborne and Persona 4. So
yes,
but we'll see. He didn't decide on what he'd want to sell it for, and if I get the money, it would depend on how much he'd sell it for. Because if he sells it for about the same price as the stores, I'm like, well, maybe I'd go for the store ones instead. I don't know. We'll see.
I have my upstairs PlayStation and my downstairs PlayStation.
I know, madness, isn't it?
And I'll be carried up the stairs by 5 virgins in their revealing cloths.
My
and then
God.
They'll leave me alone to play video games.
Put me on my golden latrine while I shall poop. I don't know.
Bring it into the bedroom. I wish not to travel far.
It amused me. I was like, oh, okay. But apart from that, I haven't really done a huge amount. That's been it. Lots of Dragon Ball, lots of that. I was disappointed to hear that a horror anime collection is apparently not meant to be very good.
Oh, is that a show? Because I might have heard of that.
Yes, Super Eye Patch Wolf did a thing on it. It's the Junji Ito collection.
I think, if I'm remembering right, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's the guy who did the weird fish one. Remember that?
The weird fish one?
Like Jinrei or something, where zombie fish and a shark with legs.
I don't think I've
Jinro.
seen that.
No, that's a wolf thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Jinro's the thing with the Hellgast-looking dude.
But yeah, it's like he's done some really wacky visual horror, and then he was doing a compilation series, and I was toying with seeing it.
Apparently, I saw some of the clips of the Junji Ito like manga stuff from Super Eye Patch's video, and like, wow, he does some fucking good manga art, like crazy good creepy drawings. And then it shows you the animated versions, and you're like, oh, they just kind of half-assed it, didn't they? Oh, what a shame.
Are they 3D?
No, it's not Berserk. It's lazy in a different way. It's really disappointing. I might check it out regardless, because the actual horror stories, I'm not going to read the manga, even though the manga looks way better technically. I'm not that invested to I'm not a reader. People know this. I'm not ashamed of it. So I might watch it just to see what the stories are, and just like accept that it's going to be visual garbage and not hit me as it should do, or as it is intended to. But maybe it's better to just see what the stories are rather than how they should. See them at the very least, rather than just not see them at all. I don't know. Maybe.
Trying to think if there are any horror anime in this season at the moment that are of interest.
The last, can I remember the last horror thing? The last horror one
Main
I
Abyss.
really, I wouldn't say that's horror. It has horror
Yes,
elements.
it is. That gets to horror, and it will be horror next season. I read I've read the manga after this. Holy crap! I haven't read the manga, but like I just read someone's article and just like strap yourselves in.
Is it bad? The last horror I thought of that came to mind when I was like, what was the last horror? Was that one, the Higurashi?
No, that's horror. That's just you.
That's the
saw
last
that, like,
one.
4 years ago.
Yeah, I know, that's the last one, and that's the one that pops in my head. And then I was like, well, there is Devilman. I'm like, I didn't think that was that good though. I didn't think it was that horror either.
That's just Go Nagai.
But there was no titty rockets, Mikey. It wasn't real Go Nagai.
No, well, to be fair, he probably would have worked them in at some point. They're probably in a crossover.
Go Nagai. What a man. What a weirdo. Because I talked about watching Thor Ragnarok last week, didn't I?
Yes, and you didn't really like it.
That's right, yeah. So then there's nothing else. That's it. That's me done, unfortunately. Nothing. Andy's not very interesting this week, but no change. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if they want to? If they want to find your face and rub it and touch it?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo and YouTube as eWolfie3. You can send me emails on the moonbase2@gmail.com if you got anything you want to comment about with the podcast. And you can contact us on Twitter on the moonbase2. You've got, I'd say, about 2 weeks before we close down suggestions for the 10th anniversary show. We've got enough that I've got some stuff to work with, but always welcoming more ideas. So if you do have any and you were waiting for that last fortnight, really appreciate to hear you. So email us, Twitter us, whichever one. Be cool to hear your ideas. Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr as CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, or on Twitter, or on iTunes, or on Facebook, or on Libsyn. We're on most of those RSS feeds that Mikey talked about. You can also leave feedback on any of those things. You can leave it on iTunes as well. That's good to help spread the word of the Moonbase too. And if you want to help out the podcast, you can head over to patreon.com/moonbase2, and you'll get From the Files of Teletran 2, the extended version, and it a week early as well. And you also get Moonbase Woo Woo. And this month, or next month's, will probably be on Dragon Ball Super, as me and Mikey and Jai will probably talk about that. As long as the episode, 131 actually comes out on a reasonable time period. And you can find all my nonsense on the ccbunker.weebly.com. And that's it, Mr. Mikey. So thank you for joining me this week, this busy week that we've had.
It has been a week.
It has been one more week, as they say. I'm for some reason I was going to ask you where can people find you, and then I went, wait, I've already asked you that, you idiot. God damn it, Andy.
I'm behind you.
God damn it. The only thing I enjoyed this week, on a side note, was the Broly trailer for Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Broly.
He's a big boy. It looks quite fun. I'm interested to see how he plays.
If the rumors are right and they are doing Kale, that's going to be odd.
I think that's meant to be a season 2.
Yeah, but it's still going to be weird to have the same... I mean, functionally, she'll have to play the same.
Yeah.
Unless they do, like, her Super Saiyan form.
Are they going to do Kale, or are they going to do Caulifla, the combined Super Gogeta, not Gogeta, Vegeta version?
The rumor, the season 2 rumor is Kale with Caulifla as a supporting character.
See, I don't know why. I see them more as just doing the fused version of them together.
It would make sense to me, but I don't know. I'd rather it was the two of them, just because. But then again, I'd rather Caulifla was the playable and Kale was the supporting. But
I don't like the one that is loud. Whoever that one was.
I like the loud ones.
I didn't.
I always like the loud ones.
That's why you like me, Mikey. Start crying.
Listen, The same rumor said Cabo was going in there, and I'm just like, really?
His face is still weird.
He's so boring. I mean, he's nice and all, but he does nothing.
Krillin has more to him.
He's an emotional crutch.
He's another son for Vegeta to love.
Yeah. Someone else for him to fix.
And with that, we'll catch you next week, everybody.
Take care, kids.
You are now leaving